It's a pleasure to be here, and it's been a pleasure working with the students and young people that I've had a chance to work with over the past several months to make this contest a reality for the finals here at our district conference. I'd like to have speaker number 1 go back and be lined up at this time. All set? Good. The four-way test speech contest is something that's new in this district. There are a lot of districts throughout the world who have done this for a number of years. This is our second year that we've done this. And the idea behind it is to link Rotary clubs with the high schools. And you see we've started that with the essay contest. So the 10th, 11th, and 12th graders can move up the ladder in their presentations and their ideas. It's neat to see people that come to this contest and come to view it, because we all learn from each other. We're not going to introduce the students until the end. We're not going to introduce the judges until the end. I ask that you turn your cell phones and pagers off. We do want to do anything to distract the students. The room is sealed so that people will not be coming in during the talk. If you have to leave the room, do so between the speeches. Okay, are we ready?
When I was little, I spent the weeks before Christmas in tense anticipation. I made lists, wrote letters, sang songs, baked cookies. And while my family was always sure to remind me of the true meaning of Christmas, I must admit that reminder often slid back to the man in the red suit. You all know who I'm talking about. He drives a sleigh all around the world on Christmas Eve, delivering presents to all the good girls and all the good boys. He has a checklist who tells him who's naughty and nice, a big white beard, and a reindeer named Rudolph. Santa Claus. Many years later, when I realized that Santa is actually a myth, it occurred to me that many parents face a small moral dilemma when they have children. What do they tell their kids? Do they tell them that Santa is real? Well, let's analyze this situation using the Rotary's four-way test. First of all, is it the truth? Is there really a Santa Claus? Well, Santa is based upon historical fact and fiction. The concept of Santa dates back to St. Nicholas, who lived in present-day Turkey at around 4 AD. St. Nicholas was renowned for his love of children and for his generosity, and he often gave gifts to the children of poor families. Throughout the years, his story has evolved to become what it is today. The Dutch brought the concept of Santa over to the Americas many, many years ago, and through literature such as Clement Clarke Moore's The Night Before Christmas and the commercial industry, Santa is the jolly man we know him to be. But the bottom line is, Santa is not a real man who lives at the North Pole, contrary to what many children believe. Therefore, Santa fails the first question of the Rotary's four-way test. Which brings us to the second question. Is it fair to all concerned? Well, the concept of fairness is something that is defined as something that is free from bias, dishonesty, or injustice. Santa automatically fails because it is not honest. It is a lie. But it also fails because of the social and financial implications which it incurs. For example, many parents may be unable to provide gifts from Santa for their children because they simply cannot afford to do so. Imagine for a second that you are the child of such a family, say 5 years old, and you don't understand the financial situation of your family. Imagine that you've spent the weeks before Christmas on your best behavior, and you made sure that your parents noticed. You are 100% sure you are going to get the spy telescope you so desperately wanted. So, on the night before Christmas, you make sure cookies are out for Santa and carrots are out for Rudolph. You jump in your onesie and you hop into bed early so that Santa can come. How would you feel the next morning if your telescope wasn't there? And how would you feel if nothing was there? And as a parent, how would you feel to see that disappointed look on your child's face? Because Santa causes many social pressures and expectations, it is not fair as a whole and fails the second question of the Rotary's four-way test. Which brings us to the third question. Does it build goodwill and better friendships? I believe the answer to this question is yes. Santa embodies the giving spirit of the Christmas season, and it also out and help those who are perhaps less fortunate. For example, I'm on class council at my high school, and each year we participate in something called Adopt a Family. Throughout the holiday season, we fundraise and collect funds from students and faculty alike. We spend a day shopping for Christmas presents and then a day wrapping the presents, which we sign as from Santa or from Santa's elves. Through this act of goodwill, we provide Christmas for roughly 4 families, and I believe that we build better friendships both within the councils and with the families for whom we provide. Because Santa ultimately inspires altruism, it passes the third question of the Rotary Spelling Test. Which brings us to the fourth and final question. Is it beneficial to all concerned? And the answer is, again, no. Santa creates many awkward and morally ambiguous situations. Parents are asked to lie to their children, and adults, teachers, and other people in authority are asked to continue the pretense. Between middle schoolers, there's a strange dichotomy between those who know and those who still expect a man to be upside down and chimney on Christmas Eve. When children question the existence of Santa Claus, parents are again placed in a tough situation. What do they say? Because the truth about Santa is often found in an accidental way, children may be upset or disconfronted when they find out. Because Santa creates this situation in this climate, it fails the fourth question of the Rotary Spelling Test. So, with an overall vote of 3 to 1, Santa fails the Rotary Spelling Test. It can be concluded from an objective point of view that the beauty of the idea is outweighed by the negative aspects of Santa Claus. Financially and socially, Santa has some negative repercussions. However, I would be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed by the outcome of the Rotary Spelling Test. One day, I hope I will be lying to my children and
Ken?
Yes.
Are the other contestants supposed to be in the room?
The others,
All of them?
they're fine.
Some days, I look around me, and it's hard not to panic. Truly panic. I wonder where our generation is headed. I wonder if we have made whole conversations with someone in person. I wonder if we have even whole conversations of true substance. I wonder if we will write complete sentences or convey our thoughts clearly, or if these thoughts are worth sharing. Will we be well read? Will we know how to dress for an interview? Will we want or know how to affect change in this world for the better? We just ride along on the coattails of our ancestors and watch our country spiral down, crippled by debt, unemployment, and dependency on fossil fuels. As Gandhi said, you must be the change you wish to see in the world. He's empowering us to not only take our future to our own hands, but also take the future of the world into our own hands. He's empowering us to reach out beyond ourselves and embrace a more altruistic and global attitude. And yet, as a 16-year-old girl, my world is relatively small. But rather than deciding I can affect no change or benefit to this world now, I choose to listen to the advice of Tolstoy, who reminds us that everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing himself. This seems like a good and realistic place for me to start at this point in my life. Looking inward, I can make attempts, become a better person, and in doing so, whatever changes I make on the micro scale may affect change in the world itself. Changes and growth are usually reviewed decisions. A good decision can only be made through a good decision-making process. No matter the size of the issue or the size of the decision, the Rotary four-way test is a good place to start. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And always seeking out truth, fairness, goodwill, and a beneficial outcome in every decision I make, there's always a chance for healthy change, growth, and success at any level. The Rotary 4-way test can be used often and need not be limited to big decisions or heroic actions. It can simply be applied to a conversation. How you make someone feel by your words is important to remember. Words are very powerful, and the feeling they carry with them when shared in a conversation can be everlasting. A young child, just learning the concrete meanings of words, cannot understand the power they hold. I'll blurt out, "That shirt is ugly," not realizing the wearer of the shirt may be offended. But as we grow older, and hopefully more mature, we become personally responsible for the power that our words carry. We must learn to use the gift of speech with a filter system. And using the Rotary 4-way test, we can find the balance between what is important to say and what is best left unsaid. It can remind us that the importance of truth needs to always be balanced with the benefit of sharing. Advances in technology have given individual decisions a potentially much larger area of influence, for the good and for the bad. With the world so interconnected, it's even more essential that the decisions are based on sound principles. The Arab Spring is a prime example of this interconnectedness and widening ripple effect, where the flame of change charged across a region like never before. Because now, decisions made in one country may immediately affect another country. Perhaps possibly, if our world leaders were to use the Rotary 4-way test in making decisions, a more globally minded and selfless world would emerge. So perhaps, in attempting to make good personal decisions, I can affect change in my world, and gradually these ripples will spread. As Betty Reese reminds us, if you think you are too small to be effective, you have never been in bed with a mosquito. I plan to be a mosquito.
We all have choices. However, it's easy to forget that every decision we make has a direct effect on our future. Whether it be as short term as what ice cream flavor to eat after dinner, or as long term as what college to attend, our choices are what define us. What's more is that our choices help to define others as well. Choices lead to actions, and what we choose to do with our time is the most important action we can take. Sit in front of the TV, or take a few hours to volunteer at the SPCA. It shouldn't be too difficult of a decision. Unfortunately, for many people, it is. They can walk away from the TV with satisfaction in the moment, and they can walk away from volunteer work with satisfaction that lasts a lifetime. In the present day, society is trying to encourage my generation to participate in community service. The difficulty in achieving this goal is not found in a lack of opportunities to serve. This seeming impossibility originates from a naturally high attraction to things like the use of the internet or watching television. The problem is that my peers are much more familiar with gossip and technology than they are with the overpowering feeling that comes from helping others. When asked to volunteer, though, all it takes is one hand. One hand is raised by someone who makes the decision to participate in something larger than themselves. And another hand goes up, and two more follow. And even if it stops there, it was the initial choice that brought forth the action and motivated others to do the same. Those hands will then come together for a good cause. Those hands will spend less time operating a remote control and more time benefiting others. Those hands will bring about a change in our community. Society is trying to prove that community service is a great thing, and those hands will help to prove that this is the truth. These days, it's becoming much more important for a student to do community service in order to succeed. For example, community service occupies large importance in the admissions process for colleges. It is not uncommon for a student to be denied access because of a shortage of volunteer work. Colleges want students who are involved. Of course, academics go a long way, but without involvement in the community, how are colleges to know that the student will be a contributing member to society in the future? It is entirely fair to ask my generation to think outside of their own lives every once in a while. We each spend a good amount of time trying to make our lives easier or more suited to our preferences. Therefore, it's definitely not too much to ask to donate a few hours of the week to the community. Everyone needs help sometimes, whether it be volunteering at the local library or simply serving food at an event. Time donated to others is much better spent than time kept to oneself. Community service is fair for both sides. We trade a few hours of sitting on the couch or roaming the internet for the appreciative smiles and better community that comes from our generous service. We learn the values of being selfless, and those who we serve get the help that they need. The benefits of community service do not stop there. In addition to internal, personal satisfaction, it provides a way to build goodwill and better friendships. For the most part, there is more motivation in helping others than there is helping oneself. This is because it's natural for us to do our best to avoid letting other people down. Letting ourselves down isn't nearly as disappointing. Community service is a way to feel that motivation to get the job done. That feeling builds will and determination. In the meantime, friendships are being made as well. Working together and cooperating really is the best way to get to know someone. The ice is already broken because there's at least one thing connecting all the people that are working together. Every person is donating his or her time to a good cause. Lastly, it is no secret that community service is beneficial to all concerned. On the giving end, those who volunteer find that it is one of the most rewarding things out there. There's no feeling that quite compares to that which comes from helping others without receiving compensation. And once the work is done, it's obvious that the smiles and thanks are entirely honest. All the time spent seems completely worth it, and much more meaningful. Memories are made. 10 years from now, it's going to be a lot harder to remember what happened on a television show than to recall the experience of helping someone or something. That feeling stays in your heart forever. Not only does it provide personal satisfaction, it's also a way to demonstrate interest and willingness to contribute to society. It's an effective way to build will and strengthen character, and it's an easy way to develop friendships. On the receiving end, it's incredible to see the amount of effort toward a good cause. One feels loved when people volunteer to be there for them and help out. Not only that, the job gets done more quickly and more effectively. No matter what perspective it's viewed from, community service is a win-win situation. In short, the importance of community service is a perfect way to apply the questions of the four-way test. Society is trying to prove that community service is a great thing, and it is our responsibility to recognize that this is the truth. It is fair for both sides. We take a few hours out of our day to learn about someone else's life or about conditions that we are familiar with. And those who we serve get the help they need.